final episode of the Scarlet Sisterhood. And now Megan is going to give us a wonderful recap.
Oh no, I'm nervous now. I'm kidding. Last week on Scarlet Sisterhood, we went at Grandma's Summer Star again for the second time. We're in an underground cavern. There's a big old hole in the battlefield dividing it, and we started off with a bunch of flying skulls, a couple of kennels, a troll, and Grandma. So we killed the troll and the flaming skulls, and now what's left is the Caneloths and Grandma Summerstar. At some point in the fight, we finally realized Grandma is definitely a vampire, and now the final reckoning has come. We're trying to get her throne and return it to the Winter Queen. Wish us luck. We're going to need it. Hang on to your butts, ladies.
Perfect. If you ladies would like to introduce yourself and your characters, and then we can jump into the action.
All right, so I am Megan R. Miller, author. My books are available on Amazon.com, and if you like the feel of the 1920s, summoning demons, or stories about mobsters, you might like my upcoming novel, Torchlighters, hopefully coming out this December. I will be playing Kenna Hollythorn, Halfling Bard of Valor.
Hey, everybody. I'm Jen from PixelScapes.com. I draw cartoony Dungeons & Dragons monsters. I'm playing Deneen, a wood elf rogue with a bit of cleric.
Hello, I'm Jean. I play Eriton Perrycath, which I should be able to say quickly at this point, a tiefling paladin of the Beggar King.
Awesome. And I see people are also recapping in the chat as well. So like the troll that died many times. So you find yourself in this large cavern. There's a 20-foot ravine kind of that was separating the ladies and your enemies, as well as the throne, which is sitting upon a gazebo right now. And I think when we left off, it was Arun's turn. Arun the Pegasi.
Yeah. So he is going to stomp one of these little dogs. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. There is a couple of Kenneloths running around. They look like giant hairless bulldogs with metal armor bolted to them, except for they have no heads. It's just a huge gaping maw with a venom like tongue all over the place.
Yeah, that's not right. There's a problem there.
There's a problem there for sure.
Does a 14 hit?
That is an excellent question. A 14 is going to absolutely miss. He slams down on his metal plates, clang, clang, but it doesn't seem to penetrate.
All right. Then he is going to hover up in the air a little bit so that they can't all... Oh, but they have those slimity slime tongues. Well, he's still going to try and hover up in the air a little bit to hopefully stay out of some of the range.
Okay. So I believe that brings us to the top of the order, which is going to be Jen.
All right. So at this point, Deneen is the only person left on the far side of this ravine. So she wants to go join her friends. And to do that, is there one of these Caneloths near one of her friends at the other edge of this ravine that I could potentially chuck a dagger at or into?
There is.
I'm going to do that thing. All right. The 30 to hit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So Deneen goes right to the edge of the ravine, right into this Caneloth for 40 piercing damage.
Nice. Not bad for a dagger, that is for sure.
And then with her bonus action, she tries to teleport to the dagger.
You feel that...
Actually, she doesn't have to... Wait, yeah, she should do it now. Yeah, she's doing it now.
Okay. So you feel the pull of the dagger, and then the connection kind of just seems to get severed.
Ah, damn it. All right. Oh, hell. Well, then I'm going to use my movement to back up a little so I can do a running jump. And then my bonus action will be the movement required to jump it.
Okay. Give me an acrobatics check.
Oh, that's a good thing. Oh, 31?
Oh.
You actually, you do several flips through the air and somersault, and land on the other side easily.
Yep, absolutely. It's like a grand jeté. And I can't get my dagger back, but I want to at least be near it since I
3
I
imps
can't,
appear out of nowhere and
grab it.
hold up cards that say 10 and then disappear.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. I do the Mary Lou Retton.
Half golf claps.
And I will make sure I'm not right at the edge of the ravine so something can push me in,
Okay.
ideally.
Important things.
Yes.
So you're 10 feet away. What is from the ravine? What is Kenna doing? You're about 30 feet from the 30 feet from the throne itself and the gazebo. Lady Summerstar is kind of flying up in the air in a cloud of mist, and you have these 2 hellish-looking dogs, and one of them looks really beat to hell.
Yeah, I'm stabbing it. All right, so it is dark in here, so I should get advantage on that attack. Ergo, 26 total to hit on that first strike.
And that is with your Shadow Blade?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
That absolutely hits.
And yeah, no, that is a number. That is a number. All right, so we've got 29, I believe.
So how do you finish it off?
Good. All right, so you know that big gaping maw that serves as its head? I'm just gonna shove the blade up in through that and through the top of its head.
Oh.
Nice.
Well, it's psychic damage. I have to damage the brain. And then second attack on the other one, since it should be there in range. I don't think that's gonna hit. 16?
16 does hit.
Ooh. Oh. Only 19 damage on that one, though.
Nice.
Nice. And that one
And
is
then,
also
bonus-
damaged. And it also has Deneen's dagger in it.
Bonus action, Bardic Doot for Cack this time.
Bardic Doot.
Yes, Bardic Dooting.
Okay. So
She's doing her duty.
So on the enemy's attack, there is the Canaloth that is engaged with Kenna and Arun. Lady Summerstar is flying up above, and she dismisses her mist form and is now kind of standing in the air. But also, there's a slight rumble coming from over by the throne, as that gazebo kind of picks itself up, and and kind of reforms itself to look like a giant spider.
I've heard tales of these gazebos.
It is dreadful, to be honest with you.
It's a dread gazebo.
Yeah. So, Kenna, you just stabbed the canalith next to you. So it's going to claw at you.
Bring it.
Oh, it's been brought. Oh, maybe not.
Good.
Does it an 18 hit you?
Oh, it does.
Okay.
I don't have my shield right now. I have 2 weapons in my hands, and that would have stopped it anyway.
Yeah, so the claws come scrambling in at you, or scrabbling. For 11... 15 points of damage. And the tongue is actually going to go flying over towards Deneen, but it lashes the ground near you. You usually dodge out of the way.
I went over to do my Mary Lou Retton just as the tongue came over to get me. I was still doing victory dance from my jump across the ravine.
Yes, pretty much. The spider-like creature, it drops its jaw. And who's it going to look at? It's going to look at one of you guys. So it is going to gaze at Calf. And a third eye opens up on its forehead, and a beam of yellow light comes shooting in your direction. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
He stole a rude shtick.
He did.
23. Eat that.
Okay, so 23. You will take half damage. It is force damage. 33 points of force damage as it slams into you.
Ooh.
Half of 33, or that is half.
No, half of 33.
Oh,
Okay.
even better.
Okay, just checking.
I was about to say, oh, Jiminy Christmas. All right.
And then it will scurry forward to Kenna. Unfortunately, you seem to be closest.
That's fine.
And
This is okay.
it lances out with its forelegs at you.
Oh, good.
That's going to be one hit as it pierces your shoulder with a
Halfling
long,
swears.
pointy foreleg for...
More halfling swears.
yeah. For 14 points of damage.
Not as many halfling swears.
About half as many.
About half as many.
Quarterling swears.
And then... Let's see. Well, we can't do that. We can do that. So, Lady Summerstar will point at Deneen.
Oh, really?
And an exasperated tone. If you want anything done, you just have to do it yourself. And a black beam of energy shoots out, striking towards you. Give me a con save.
Whoa. 21.
Oh, you're good.
Still victory dancing, apparently.
So you're going to take half damage.
Oh, my evasion doesn't help me with this, does it?
I do not believe so because it is a con save, right?
Well, I could. How much was that again?
You can use Uncanny Dodge if you like. It is going to be...
I was going to say, I think Uncanny Dodge does work.
It's going to be 57 points of necrotic damage.
Yeah, I'd like to cut that in half, please.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
And with that, it is Kath's turn.
So now that this spider, the gazebo has become the spider and moved away, is the throne just sitting out there?
The throne is just kind of sitting out there.
So it ditched the throne, or the throne like fell out or something?
It kind of like stood up and reformed into this spider creature over top of it, and then just walked off.
Maybe we can just...
So like all the wood and lattice work that was the gazebo is now this spider.
About that. We're in this fight. We actually have to finish the fight because I don't have teleport now.
Okay.
Oh!
I don't have that kind of spell slottage.
Good to know. All right.
All right. Well, yeah, thank you for informing me of that, because that will affect what I do. I hop on a rune and we fly out to Lady Summerstar, and I take a couple swings at her. Does a 31 hit?
A 31 will absolutely hit. So Arun's going to take an attack of opportunity, though.
That's fine.
Because he was fighting the dogs. 16 to hit, Arun.
What where I have... Let me look at his... Yep, that'll hit.
Alright, he's going to take a little bit of damage here.
That's fine.
As the thing kind of tries to bite his stomach.
Ooh.
That could have been worse. 22 points of damage.
Okay.
These things, their mouths are like giant garbage disposals.
Okay. So I threw a 4th level smite on there
Okay.
because I was feeling sassy. So 46, 54, 59 points of damage on the first attack.
All right.
And that's a big 15 of that is bludgeoning and the rest is radiant.
It's radiant. Yes.
Because I think that matters against a vampire. Or I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter against this vampire. 31 to hit.
It's a good night for 31s.
It is. It is.
We should just keep doing that for the rest of the night. Except Dave.
Yeah. Not talking to Dave about that. And then I'll do a level 3 smite. So for that one, she takes 13 bludgeoning and 27 radiant.
Okay, so 50 total? 20, or 40
Yes.
total? You said 13
50
and 27?
total. No, 13 and 13 and 27, so 40 total.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you can give it to me all at the same.
Oh, okay.
It does make a difference, but not in a vulnerable sort of way. So yeah, you just slam into her twice with your hammer, with your maul, blasting her around.
And then Arun's gonna try and kick her
Okay.
because that's the thing he can do. He rolled a 17.
A 17 is not going to do it.
Okay. So all of the bells on his front legs jingle as he strikes out at her.
Okay. I jingle in your general direction.
Pretty small.
Excellent. Okay, Jen, you're up. What do you want to do?
All right. These Caneloths, I mean, the spider is horrible. My mother-in-law is obviously horrible. But these Caneloths are a problem because they're down here with me and Kenna. So I'm going to stab the hell out of at least one of those.
Okay.
I don't know if fire will hurt them, but I will at least try using green flame blade and see what happens.
There's one left and the spider, but they're next to each other. So.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So then the attack on the Caneloth is 18 to hit.
18 will do it, yes.
Okay. So that's with including sneak attack, that's 43 damage on the Caneloth. Plus 13 fire. I don't know if that hurts the Caneloth.
All right. So 13 fire, and what was the other number?
43.
And 43. Okay.
Piercing and sneak. And then the fire leaps to the... this is not right. Leaps to the spider because it's nearby for another 11 fire damage.
Okay. The fire actually seemed to be slightly more effective on the spider. You said 11 fire damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although that doesn't. Okay, I'll check that. But and then I don't really want to be right. Wait, Kenna, do you need me to stay near this thing?
Why would I need you to stay near this thing?
If you want sneak attack.
I don't think it's gonna.
Actually, I think
I'm probably gonna switch to healing here pretty soon, so it probably won't make that much of a difference.
I think I can do. Okay. Well, then I will disengage and move away from the Caneloth. If I'm lucky, it'll chase me instead of Kenna.
Oh, I have advantage anyway because it's dark in here. And
oh, good.
Shadowblade.
Excellent. All right then. I'll just get away from it.
Yeah.
Not toward the spider. And Wisdom is still hiding in the rafters.
Up amongst the stalactites.
Yeah.
Excellent. What is Kenna doing?
Again, well, first of all, how is everyone on health?
Not too bad.
I'm okay.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna try to finish this kennel off. Try being the operative word here. Oh, okay. So that one's like 26 to hit, and then my second attack is like 23 to hit.
Yeah, they both hit.
All right.
Delicious.
So that's going to be 29 and 38 respectively.
29 and 38. Okay.
Janine looks impressed as a free action in the background.
Okay, your first attack actually obliterates it.
Woo! Okay, cool.
Yay.
And 38 was the second attack.
Yes.
So that would have hit. You're within range. I'm going to guess you would have just used it on the spider.
On the gazebo spider, like just threw the kennel off and into the building.
Yeah. All right.
So that leaves us with the dread gazebo and Lady Summerstar.
It does.
Ah.
All right, I'm gonna check the duration of the spell because I think at that point my shadow blade ends. I'm pretty sure it's been like 10 rounds, right?
No.
No?
It's been a few rounds.
I mean,
I wouldn't say 10.
I cast it last week.
That is true. You did cast it last week. So, is that all your actions?
Unless somebody needs bardic inspiration, I think I gave it to you both. I don't know if either of you actually used it.
I haven't used it yet.
Half of you used it. Okay, well then you both still have it. It's a D12 now, and I am done. I end my turn.
Ooh.
I'm basking in the glow of my bardic inspiration. I don't want to have to use it.
The spider gazes up at a rune. Make a con save for a rune.
A con save. He's got good constitution. Oh, maybe not so much. 7.
A 7. A rune goes rigid and stops beating his wings, and falls to the ground, paralyzed, taking 17 points of damage.
Okay.
And you actually will take half as much. You've been cushioned by a rune.
Okay.
Aw.
That's the shaggy unicorn cushioned my thing. But he's not dead.
He is not. He is absolutely not dead. And then the spider will go at Kenna with its 4 legs. And I actually think both of those are going to miss. We have to retire those D20s. A 16 does not hit Kenna.
No, it matches. Yeah, I'm hit. I don't have my shield.
Tie goes to the batter. Oh, you're not using your shield?
No, I forgot that I had another blade in my hand until it was time for me to get hit.
Oh, that'll do it every time.
Yep.
So you'll take 12 points of damage as it lances through your shoulder.
That's okay.
So Lady Summerstar utters a word. I've had enough of you, you wretched devil bitch. And how many hit points does Kath have?
83.
You are stunned and plummet. Oh, you're already on the ground.
Yeah.
You are stunned.
Interesting.
Man.
Okay.
She
No
hits you
save or
with
nothing.
a power word, stun.
All right.
And with that, it's actually Kath's turn. So at the end of your turn, you actually get a saving throw. Son of a.
Now, I'm going to use my paladin ability where I just get to end a condition on myself as my turn.
Oh, well, that's useful.
So she does that, and I pause for a second, and I shake it off, and I say, "Huh, neat trick."
I'll have to use something a bit stronger next time.
Ooh, I've heard those words before.
Let's see what you can truly shake off. So, is Arun still around?
Yeah, he's still around. Does he get to make another save?
Yes, he can. DC 18.
Nope.
Aw.
Not at all. He's rolling single digits on these saves.
Well, it's just counter. It's making up for the 30 somethings.
Yeah.
I jinxed it.
Jen, you are up. What is Deneen doing?
Kenna, would you like to keep the spider occupied while I try and kill my mother-in-law?
Yeah, I got this.
Okay.
I mean,
that
unless you guys
sounds-
end up needing healing.
Sounds good to me. Deneen will then unsling the oath bow from her back and melt into the shadows using Mask of the Wild. And then she will activate the oath bow to start shooting.
Okay.
She says, "Swift death to those who have wronged us," and shoots at Lady Summerstar. That's 31 to hit
Oh yeah, that will absolutely hit.
for 53.
All right, so you take her right in the heart.
Good. If she had one.
And she kind of just explodes into pieces of darkness
Oh,
as you
well-
do that. And the spider begins turning back into a gazebo.
on top of the throne.
No, right where it's at. Kenna, give me a dex save.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry.
I know you inundated by puppy. DC 15.
I know he's a camera hoe.
Dave,
I hear
while
that
she
can be
does
lucrative.
that, does Deneen get that sense that her target is dead?
Yes.
Okay. So that cold that washes over her when she activates the oath bow is dissipating, which is a tremendous relief because you never know.
I passed.
Okay.
Okay. So you roll it out of the way before it becomes a gazebo right where you are.
I flipped the gazebo off.
So there's no like lingering cloud of mist or anything?
No, there is not.
Oh.
I think she's dead. I think she's actually dead. It felt like she was dead.
Ding dong.
I should be able to tell if she's not.
Does I had her the thing, you know, with the thing, because I'm a paladin.
Your Paladino vision?
No, my vow of enmity.
Oh.
I'm gonna go flop into that throne.
Actually, it doesn't say if I can sense when they die. So, okay, never mind. I wouldn't know. Sorry. All right.
Would that end the spell, though?
Till it drops to 0 hit points.
Hmm.
So,
So what are you ladies doing?
Flopping in the throne out of exhaustion.
Arun's going to try. Does the effect on Arun end now that she's gone?
Yes.
I'm still looking around suspiciously, but I will start edging over toward the throne and my friends.
I am gonna need a long nap. And then I can take us home.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm up for it. I can't believe this.
I hop on Arun and we fly back up there. And when we get over the ground, he dumps me on it and then alights and giving me a very annoyed look, goes over and like snuggles with Kenna and then like looks over his shoulder and gives me a filthy glare as he does it.
Good. I cuddle over you and I am perfectly glad to be on the receiving end of his revenge cuddling.
Revenge cuddling. Yeah, and oddly enough, you do not see Hallie anywhere to be seen.
Where'd Haley go?
She was on the other side of the ravine.
There was that holy glow and then nothing.
It sounds to me like Quinthel took her somewhere where she was needed more than here.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And if she wasn't, then we'll figure it out and rescue her later.
Wisdom, come on, babe. And she flies down. You know, I'll give her lots of kisses. I didn't need you after all. Mm.
So you're able to long rest here without any incidents.
Yes.
I will still watch in sheer paranoia throughout my quote unquote meditation. Because you never know.
Nothing less.
Yeah.
But I can.
And I do a magic circle at the top of our rest because that'll give us an hour to be somewhere a little bit sheltered and safe, just to be sure, you know.
Perfect. So you guys are able to catch a nap and rest up, recover your hit points, and all your abilities reset.
Whew.
I don't know.
So,
Right.
like it takes Janine a while to rest because like every 10 minutes as Kath, you think that she might fall asleep. She's like, hey Janine,
What? Did you see something?
we did it.
It's not done yet. She's gone, which is great. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Progress.
I've murdered my husband's stepmother. And thank you very much for helping me do so. But we still have to get all this to the Feywild, so we're not quite done.
Right, but we're like more
Just
than
nervous.
50% of the way there, so we can
I
maybe
hope so.
almost count it in a win. And then like 10 minutes later, hey Janine,
What is it?
can
She
you
pulls a
murder,
dagger.
can you murder something if it's undead?
Didn't we? Aren't vampires undead?
Right. So did we murder her if she was already dead?
It felt like she was dead. Are you saying she's not dead? You know about this stuff. You're a paladin.
And Kathy kind of chuckles to herself like a little bit.
When Deneen realizes that Kath is kidding, she already has a dagger in her hand. She'll chuck it directly next to Kath's head and then bonus action pull it back right before it hits her.
So
Don't do that.
Kath will just be like, she considers the fact that maybe she shouldn't harass Deneen before she has to fall asleep, whereas Deneen only has to meditate for a few hours.
Go to sleep.
But she laughs and she finally falls asleep.
Deneen uses her mom voice to tell Kath to go to sleep.
Kath was totally that kid.
time to
that
go to
stayed
sleep,
up all
Kath.
night and kept
I
on
mean
waking
it.
up her siblings with like, hey, is Santa here yet?
Mm-hmm.
Stop trolling the elf.
Ah,
So what do you guys do the next day?
Teleport home with the throne.
oh.
Wherever it is that we left Lord Summerstar.
Okay, so you guys have him stashed. I believe
Good.
at the bathhouse in one of the rooms.
Gonna tie him to the throne and gonna tie that crown
Do
to
we
his
really?
head.
No. He could
Oh,
maybe
Let's not put him in the
Let's
seat of
not-
power.
put him in. Yeah,
somebody stops Kenna before she does the stupid thing.
we put he needs some of the diadem on,
All right.
but let's not put him in the throne because that maybe is a bad combo. Just no.
Just wrap him up like a rope caterpillar.
Oh yeah.
Put a ball gag in there.
Kath,
Or like an apple or something.
How are we carrying all this stuff?
Kath can carry the throne there if it's really heavy. And the next day when we set out, she'll carry the throne again and she'll toss a tied up Summer Star over Arun,
Oh, there you go.
who's still a unicorn and keeps continuously shooting Kath like filthy looks. She's like, I don't know, buddy. I just don't feel like I should like waste this spell to change you right now. I mean, what if another fight breaks out? It's just not safe.
So is he a unicorn or a Pegasus?
He's a Pegasus,
Oh, okay.
a shaggy orange Pegasus that looks like Keith Richards.
Oh.
Someone needs to draw that. A rune as a Keith Richards Pegasus. So the throne is actually quite heavy. It's made of ice.
Kath's strength is 23. So
where
We could always
where are you
put it on
where
a
do you guys plan on going? Yeah, but carrying around a chair over for a long distance is not easy.
We would have to
Well-
go to Gertrude. I mean, we could teleport there if
do we have
I-
to? Because
I
she just
have.
popped out of the trees when we stepped outside the city.
Did she? Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
lady.
she
We could-
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Let's try that. Let's try that
Just
first
haul
before
out of the city.
going all the way to the Feywild.
Yeah.
It's true. She might just come collect.
So
That's true.
you guys kind of approach the area where you did before, and
Mhm.
the wind begins to kind of kick up, and almost like a Zypher style gust of wind kind of like wraps around the lot of you, and everywhere it goes, it leaves behind a snowy scene until you get this feeling that you're not out just outside of Gryphongaffe anymore.
Not.
Here we go.
You're standing in a grove of trees. At first, the impression you get is that it's a bunch of dead trees with white bark, but it's not actually that. It is silver trees, or trees with draped in silver bark, and snow and ice hanging upon them. Their leaves are barren, as they would be in winter, but at closer inspection, they do appear to be alive. And actually, it's actually hard to see. You're catching a lot of glare off of the sun that is kind of reflecting off of all the ice and the snow. And all around you, you hear the muttering of fey creatures and sylvan creatures in the sylvan language, which you guys can understand. But you're only catching snippets because it's like a lot of people talking and whispering at once. And Kath probably doesn't see any of them at all, or just barely glimpses. Kenna and Deneen are much more perceptive. So you're seeing different fey creatures, elves and pixies and sprites and satyrs, and also wolves and hounds. Until finally, stepping seemingly out of nowheres is the Winter Lady herself, with those kind of harsh, feline features, but she moves with the grace of a cat. She is draped in a white cloak. On the inside, it is like a blue silver lining. She's got stark white hair, piercing blue eyes, pointed ears like an elf, but slightly larger, and icy blue eyes. Greetings. I see you've returned what belongs to me, and the traitor as well.
I curtsy politely because it's not a good idea not to observe formalities in the Fey courts.
Especially when it's your mistress at this particular moment.
Uh-huh.
Lady Cryolna, we bring you these gifts to negotiate for the freedom of my family from the terms of the deal this man made with you in relation to his descendants.
Well, present the traitor to me.
Oh, with glee.
He's all bundled up for you. We gift wrapped him.
So, a couple of the satyrs come forward, but they have shaggy white fur instead of the brown that you're used to seeing on Fenris.
Oh, that's totally cool.
Oh, interesting.
And they throw him down on the ground in front of her. She in her hand materializes a staff made of, it seems to be made of the same wood as the trees themselves, with a blue crystal, so it looks like an enormous sapphire set in the top of it. She taps the ground near the head of Lord Summerstar, and a pattern begins to form on the ground around him. It looks like a giant snowflake beneath him. And she waves her staff again, and his bonds just snap. But as they do, his arms and legs just slam to the ground, and he's completely splayed out. And you can see you see ice and snow form around his wrists and ankles and seem to be anchoring him to the ground. Well, Lord Summerstar, I think we'll be taking back that which you've stolen, and this will conclude our bargain. She taps her staff once more, and you see Lord Summerstar. You just see the color drain from his body, and it begins to fill that snowflake pattern underneath of him, and you just see it turn crimson, and it kind of like washes out from where he is to the edges, and then once it completes the full circuit, the full snowflake, it kind of just like erupts straight into the air into a pillar of blue light, and when it goes away, when it fades, there's nothing left of Lord Summerstar. He's just completely gone. And as for us being done with your family, there is one small problem. Your daughter is the blood of the Summerstars. She's Fey touched now.
Well,
My lady, with all due respect, you gave your word.
well, wait. What's wrong with being Fey touched? From the perspective of someone who lives on my plane.
Nothing. She's going to mature and blossom one day into a young woman, but she's Fey. The realm of fairy will call to her eventually.
Mm.
And not her father?
No.
Well, I mean, that's not terrible, right? I mean, we go
No.
back and forth.
Yeah.
The choice will be hers of what she does with it.
If she has free choice, then that's to live her life. Then that's
Acceptable.
the point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kenna, you hear a whisper in your ear while while the Winter Lady is talking to Deneen, and it is the Winter Lady's voice. I do require agents upon your world, and I would not end our terms if you were willing to stay in my employ, and serve. I will need someone to look after the little one and make sure she is protected.
Oh, I planned on doing that anyway, but if you would like to continue business, you've kept your word so far, and I've got no reason not to. It would be my honor, my lady.
Excellent. And she just kind of nods in your direction, and the rest of you only hear one side of the conversation. So with that,
I look over sharply toward Kenna when she says her agreement to my lady. What was that?
I smile.
What?
I'll explain when we get home. It's nothing bad, I promise.
Okay.
know this day you have earned my favor, and you may come and go freely from my court. She kind of like lifts a hand and blows, and snowflakes, three of them, drift towards each of you, and just kind of land on your lapel, and form into a pendant made of ice, or a brooch made of ice.
Ooh.
Rain a little bit.
But
I didn't know anything about this before, but I'm glad that we could work this out in a reasonable way.
I've been known to be harsh, but I'm considered fair amongst our people. So,
Your and Deneen points out that she has this oath bow, and she says your tools have assisted us in this manner, but do you need this?
keep it. Consider it a small token of my appreciation for what you've done this day.
Well, then I will be sure to pass it to my daughter, and it will return to you eventually with her.
The summer stars have been a thorn in my side for quite some time. They stole the winter seat and have been harboring it for quite some time. So, with this is done, I will return you to your homes and your lives, and you need not worry about my interference.
I thank you for that.
And she just like claps her hands once, and then you guys are just standing back outside
So-
of the gates of Gryphongaffe.
Before she sends this away, like Kath, if she has time, will sprout her wings and bow in
Oh.
thanks.
Oh, that's really cool.
So you do that just as you're kind of like winking out.
What do your wings look like?
They are gray and they become like kind of a gingy black. And as she flaps them, like flecks of coal dust come out.
Oh, that's
So
really
cool.
cool.
You've got pigeon wings.
Sounds like a morning dove, maybe.
Fight me, Dave. Fight me.
Ash wings.
You created the beggar
It's true.
and his derelict aesthetic.
So you guys are outside the gates of Gryphongaffe. What are you going to do? This is kind of like your moment. Everything you've been doing, you're not tied to anything anymore.
Group hug. It's group hug time for sure.
Oh, for real.
Yes, definitely.
So, like in
Oh
the
my
midst
gosh.
of the
You did-
group hug, Kath says, "I was really looking forward to turning turning Fane into a pirate."
What? Well, if she ends up a pirate anything like you, that would be amazing.
Okay. She's
Not-
probably got time to do that and then go to the winter.
Yeah, like let's let her grow up first, maybe before the piracy. But that there are worse things to do, right?
Can there be a little bit of piracy before she grows up?
Like amateur recreational piracy. Yeah, I mean that's not that different from how I grew up.
She's
So,
going to
yeah,
intern on
yeah.
the ship.
Exactly. Finally find a kid I like.
Oh gosh, Kenna, we have to teach her Sylvan.
Oh, yes. I believe that would be quite in order. You see, the promise that I made to the Winter Lady was that I would look after her.
Oh,
Oh.
that. Huh. She wants you to look after her.
She said she wanted agents on this plane. She said that someone was going to have to watch the girls back.
And, you
And
know,
then
Kenna's
Janine
got
takes
the-
a look to see if Kenna still has the like frosty teardrops.
She does.
Oh. Well, she seems a reasonable sort, considering. You know, I'm a fan of reasonable sorts.
I think so.
So, what did each of you can take your turn? What is it that each of you want to do? Now you're 20th level characters. This is the end of the campaign. How do you spend the rest of your days?
So this is epiloguing, huh?
Epiloguing.
Oh my gosh.
Do we want to go in our normal intro order? So Megan first as the most senior member.
Well, Kenna proceeds to write the epic ballad of the adventure we just went on, and occasionally, steps out on adventures at the Winter Queen's behest. But for the most part, she's kind of around town, like being that creepy frosty lady that occasionally sings creepy frosty songs, with the bardo, and just kind of, with the halflings and halflington, and, lady about town. I'm good with this. Also hanging out with Finalist because he's awesome.
That brings us to Jen.
Well, gosh, of course, Deneen would go home, explain all this to her husband and her little girl. She would probably have a conversation with Alarian first about this whole Fey touched thing for Fane, and make it very clear that if she's going to be potential, I don't even know if this means she'll live longer, but either way, she's going to have a very interesting transplanar life potentially. And so she needs to learn how to be an adventurer, defend herself, do all kinds of things. And so that means long term is basically going to be getting Fane trained to use the oath bow, learn Sylvan, go adventuring. We'll do training missions with Fane and Vance, right? How about it?
Mm-hmm.
And introduce her to the Fae that we know locally, like the Pixies and the Warden of the Grove.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, just keeping Gryphongaffe safe and enjoying her time with her family and her extended family.
What does Kath get up to?
So now that everything is settled with Deneen's family, Kath goes back to spending the majority of her time with her wife. And at the year mark, goes back to Gallum. And hopefully Gallum will agree to turn her back to her gnome self. Does she, Dave?
She does,
Hopefully.
absolutely.
Okay, nice. So there becomes, and after that, she'll still go out and paladin and help people. And as they visit different ports, she does a lot of healing and create food and water for the poor people. And she's a big fan of sprouting her wings when she gets into bar brawls and things like that. So there's probably this tale of this crazy gnome flying thing that comes and terrorizes various port towns. She kidnaps Vance and takes him on the seas for an extended training. This is for your own good scenario. And if Fane is interested, they'll take her out. But other than that, she's also working on her alchemy and her tinkering, and over time trips out the pirate ship like mad with different tinkering and alchemy things, and might even consult Sparks McGee on a few projects, although that probably just turns into epic arguments between them.
Debates. Now,
Yes.
I did entertain for a moment of you coming back as a gnome and and your wife found a way to be polymorphed into a tiefling to match.
Oh no, it's the polymorph of the Magi.
So
Isn't Azucena an elf though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
she's an elf.
Adorable.
So the three of you.
She's a wood elf. She's probably my mom.
Oh God.
We don't know.
that would make Kath your stepmom.
Oh no.
And you know what I do with those.
Oh.
Indeed.
So the three of you are able to live out your lives in peace. So is there any legacy things that any of you want to do?
Oh wow.
I definitely want to try to make Jarissa and Sheena. That's just.
Are we just gonna do all the shipping now? We're just shipping all
totally
over?
gonna leave them notes they're from each other because I'm really good at forging handwriting and have them meet up somewhere and just see if it takes off.
Nice. So is the ship going to be renamed or is it going to keep its name?
Oh, it keeps its name.
Nice. So
It's got the pipes like you outfitted the Bardo with, and you can hear it coming from all the way down the river.
that would be a terrible idea for a pirate ship.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it's great for intimidation though. You could play the Jaws theme as you get closer and closer.
As they start to attack, it starts playing some really sick dark melodies. that I get Kenna to write for us.
Yes.
Steve-
Oh,
Soundtrack.
So Steve wants to know if you still have pigeon wings when you turn back as a gnome.
Yeah, no, and as I said in chat, they were never pigeon wings. They're awesome steely wings.
Oh, steely wings. That's what you're
Yeah.
going for, huh?
Yeah, like a metal
Armory.
yeah.
Like the rest of your armor,
Yes.
except with the soot on the end.
Yes. Pigeon wings.
Comrade says your ship will play the Veggie Tales theme.
They do have a song called "The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything."
I know that song.
Yeah.
But no.
So does anyone in chat? You guys have questions? We could do like a mini Q&A.
Yeah.
As of right now, we don't know. We're not sure what the next campaign is or when we're going to start it up, but we're definitely going to do something.
Yay!
We've been also like Nerdarchy has been entertaining doing a second channel for our live stuff and moving stuff over there. But if we do, we'll let everyone know and get the word out.
Interesting.
Well, the YouTube, there's clearly like two different audiences, like the people that want the talkie videos and people that want the stream games and stuff.
Ooh, Steve has a neat question.
He does. Okay, what secret did your characters have that did not come out in play?
I always had this headcanon that my dad was still alive out there somewhere and just in jail. But Kenna didn't know that.
Interesting.
Who said it?
I had never really. I don't think Deneen ever actually mentioned how and why she ended up becoming a cleric.
Yeah, no, and you just disappeared for a while and came back with this owl doing weird stuff.
That's true. So the initial becoming a cleric was this was before she got into the campaign proper. She had got into a bad situation on the road, and she knew how to use a bow and arrow, but she was in a bad situation, and she just felt like she was in this hopeless scenario, and she felt like because she always had her am I really an elf complex, because she wasn't raised by elves, didn't know elven, didn't even really know how to meditate, nothing. And so she was sitting there thinking to herself, like, if only I were a real elf, Elven would, at least somebody would care what happened to me right now, basically. And I would have someone to pray to or somewhere to go if I get killed right now. And then as a result, because she was just, she was essentially praying and didn't realize it, Ellie even saw fit to make her a cleric. And that gave her just the edge she needed to basically save her own life, along with a couple of the other people from that caravan.
And then PO'd her way into being a cleric.
A real boy. And then when she went off into the woods to do her communing, she was having a bit of a crisis because she is very dedicated to Eleven, but the more she focuses on that, the less of a just hyper deadly weapon that she is. And so she was asking for guidance on that. Essentially, should I continue more in my religious studies or with combat? And so as a result, she came back with her new daggers and the owl. I mean, she had the daggers, but now she knew actually how to use them in combat in a more effective way. And that was, again, granted to her through her faith, essentially.
Oh, interesting. I don't know that Kath had any secrets necessarily that she was keeping, although Deneen never found out that she was secretly training Fane and weaponry before Deneen knew about it. But she has a ton of backstory. I tend to write 20 plus pages of backstory just at the start of whenever I do a character, and I add to it over time. So yeah, there's ridiculous levels of Kath's history that just didn't come up, including grade school teachers' reports on her behavior.
You need to post that. That would be fabulous.
I
I want to read it.
I'd have
I
to
wanna
clean the
read it.
language up in it.
Not if you just send it to us.
We can make this happen. Scott said, I want to see all the ladies continue to play. So we're definitely going to do something else in the near future as well. Someone else who asked about seeing someone else DM, one of you guys DMing. And
That was
Megan
Doug.
answered that in the chat, which I would definitely be for that. Megan is a great DM.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh.
I'm sure Jen is as well. We've heard rave reviews about Jen's DMing. So
I can vouch for Jen. I've been playing almost every week with her for like what, 4 or 5 years now.
I DM for Jean just so I can hear her like cackle and her shouts of triumph, and that's basically the only reason that I keep her.
Sometimes tells me about like what's going on in their campaigns, and I'm just like, man, I need to get into one of these eventually.
I twist a few knives upon occasion. It's the thing. I have a question for Dave.
sure.
Did Ilarion really not know anything about this whole curse thing before they got married, or did he just go, "Oh, what the hell"?
I never thought about it, to be honest with you. Like, I don't answer questions unless I think they're going to be answered in the game.
Sure.
And
well,
I
because
know some
nothing's
people
real
hate
until
that.
it happens. So
Yes.
yeah.
I'm very much an illusion GM in that sense. Like, it doesn't exist until it exists. And I know some people absolutely hate that. But I'm like, it's all made up anyway. So had something come up in the game, then I would have went with whatever seemed more interesting at the time, or
Sure.
what seemed to motivate the players at the time. So to a certain extent, like I think he did know about it, because once you started like revealing like secrets, so I thought it would be fun to turn the tables and reveal that he had a secret when you saw him with the moon bow.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a great twist, and I knew I was handing you these NPCs so that you could basically use them to push my buttons, because why else would you have them? And
That's
potentially
what NPCs are
take
for.
hostage or kill them. But I thought this turned out super interesting, and I thank you for it.
You're welcome. And like when this campaign was interesting in the way it started, because one, we had like a different cast essentially when we started it, and the one player just was like, I'm interested in fighting troglodytes. I'm like, okay, that's an odd request, but we could probably do something with that. And from that,
my God, what happened to Kresk?
I'm
I'm sorry, keep going. Answer me when you're done.
Clearly, part of Kenna's epilogue is to
seeking out
Seeking
Kresk
out
and
Kresk.
finding out what happened to him. But yeah, so like that player wanted to encounter troglodytes, so I'm like, well, what can I do with troglodytes that would be interesting? So that's why I came up with the monarch, as basically this mad scientist drug dealer that was using them to harvest their glands in order to create the stank drug. And that arc went on for a while, and that's kind of like where the campaign started, with with Kenna pursuing the monarch, and like they found the tavern where he actually had poisoned the ale with a version of stank, and that was like one of their early exposures to what he was doing, when just commoners just started like transforming into troglodytes. So I mean, that was kind of fun. And then like later on, adding in that village where you guys were you went there, got rid of the monarch, and then kind of ignored it, but like I had dropped the seed that something was going on with one of the children, and then you guys just let it go.
And then we just were like, well, we don't know what that is. We killed the lady. Bye. Yeah. So it was good that picked back up later.
Yeah. And then and Angus is around somewhere. As a GM, I just tend to throw out different plot hooks and see which one you guys bite on. But every once in a while, I do like to do, well, they haven't touched that village for a long time, and there's something going on there. All right, they're going to be all dead. And you go back.
That was lovely.
I thought so.
In my opinion. Deneen didn't think so. I was thrilled.
I was going to ask you, Dave, if there was anything that you set up for us that like we just completely ignored or brushed past that you were like, oh man.
I don't think so because I just don't plan that far ahead. Because as a GM, I just feel like that in that road lies heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like as a GM, you usually don't need more than like a sentence or two if you have an idea until the players bite on it and decide, oh, this is something I'm invested in. One of the big surprises was Stanley. I would say for the campaign.
It was in keeping with things we'd done previously, but yeah.
Well, so that one I felt like I pretty much had under wraps and had control of until Ellie's character rolled divine intervention. I'm like, well,
my god!
if you get divine intervention, something's got to happen.
That's right.
That was one of the most wonderful D&D moments.
It was great because it was everything the characters were looking for, and it was just such a terrible idea, and we knew it out of character. It was great.
Well,
I liked having this powerful cleric that knew nothing about being a cleric.
Yes,
I love Haley.
Or adventuring.
Yes.
Her superpower is being naive.
She's a very sweet character.
So what about you ladies? Was there anything you were looking for in the campaign that just never came about?
Well, I did this to myself, and I knew it was a risk. But when I sent you that really long backstory, I was like, I don't know if he's going to go for this. So when Jen and I play together, she and I talk maybe not every single day about gaming.
We're basically lunatics, is what she's trying to say.
So I was like, I didn't know like if you were going to bite for that or if you're just going to be like, oh, well, I'll read a couple things out of here. And any way would have been fine. But there was always one of those things I was like, I don't like at first I was like, is something going to like show up and bite her in the butt later? But other than that, like I really enjoyed your style of just kind of flying by the seat of your pants because that kind of mindset is a big personal indulgence for me. So like once I caught on that was because I came in at level 11. So you guys have been going for quite a while. But once I caught on that was the way that things were going, I was like, oh no, I can run with this. This will be fun.
I honestly, I learned a lot about discussing background with the GM and incorporating things. I'm not used to playing with groups that do that sort of thing. It's usually mostly numbers on a page with the people that I ordinarily play with. So I feel like I'm going to be much better at that next time around.
Yeah. Good.
I think, and this kind of refers to something that I was also talking about in the chat here, but I think one of the best things I've got out of this campaign is just I've loved your improvisational style because it clearly lets you flow with the kind of stuff that we were doing, and it's the perfect match for the kind of players that we have been in the sense of really role playing as we're completely in character as we're planning things and discussing things and coming up with paranoid theories about things and that you're just latching into that to pick out what happens next. But I've really enjoyed in this campaign the way that just the characters are very self-motivated and we have all these conversations in character about what we're going to do and what's next.
I like that.
And just things that don't even matter. We're still in character.
I like that the environment of the game created an opportunity for me to without stressing about it, create a character who is not optimized. Kath just had horrible traits that an effective paladin had no business having. Her horrible dexterity. And then on some of the times where we leveled and experienced, I spent it on stuff that was fun for her character to have for my personal headcanon, but really didn't involve anything that we were doing in game, and that was fine. And I enjoyed having a character that I didn't have to be like, oh, I have to have this track of development and these feats and at this time and this score because it's going to make my modifier, which hits this spell this way and this ability this way. It was nice to like take a break from that and just have a character that was just for the sake of creating that person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved Kat as a character.
All the characters were really great, and you ladies are all really good players. One of the things that allowed me to do a lot less work on this campaign was the fact that I had players that I knew were always going to do something. They were going to do stuff. Like if I had a different group, I would definitely ran the campaign differently, because certain players just you always need to be feeding them stuff to do. Where with you three, you always came to the session ready to do something. Which, whether it was go shopping, build a bathhouse, or go free a beholder, there was always you guys always had a plan.
Bathhouse is the legacy right there. Like,
there you go.
Be honest, that will stand in Gryphongaffe.
Yeah, we should have done an epilogue for the bathhouse. It like becomes a magnificent center of we expanded. It has like a concert hall for Kenna. And,
oh my god, like Kenna starts paying like some of the people a little bit extra to listen to the things people were talking about, and like uses that as a source of information because she's nosy. I want to become an information broker like later in life. That is a thing that is.
Well, then you don't just need the concert hall. You need like a full fest hall to go with the spa so that people can start coming here to do big social events that we would host and spy upon.
Yes.
Well, you do have all that room inside the pillar.
That's true. We can go extra dimensional here.
What could possibly go wrong?
We've got to go find that guy, that Zephyr whatever guy that owes us a favor. Oh, that's another thing. Maybe Kath will do that.
That's part of the beauty that made it easy for us to always be doing something, Dave, is that, we didn't have any, not that I've ever felt overwhelmed, but we didn't have any shortage of like things we could look into or check if everything is okay, or, there was always at least one thing we could go do. And it was great because it was a world just full of stuff happening. And some of it, we had to figure out whether that was a big deal or a problem or not.
Running a game to me is like feeding pigeons. You just like throw out a bunch of breadcrumbs and see which ones they're interested in. And then I follow, just follow those out to their natural conclusion.
I was telling somebody it's kind of like you just put a kid in a car and just build the road in front of them as they drive whatever direction they want.
That sounds about right. The other thing too, though, even though I don't spend like a lot of time like writing material per se, I usually spend like all day thinking about the game and ideas for things to come up with. Like usually I'm like, all right, I need like one combat to break out at some point if nothing's going on. And just have that. Sometimes you get to it, sometimes you don't. And so that's usually what I try to do. And and D&D Beyond kind of makes that part really easy too, because I just have tabs open that I refer to.
Yes.
Well, that, and you're so familiar with your game world. The parts of it you've already established or talked about in your other Nerdarchy videos or what have you. And then the parts that are blank spaces, it's not like you have any problem filling those. But I'm sure that helps you if we like all of a sudden we're going to teleport to a different city today, and you don't have to feel like, oh, I had nothing ready for this city. It's a place you already know.
Yeah, although we do have one less, but but that actually in itself is going to be fun for us to do something with that. I feel like I also kind of, when I did that, I kind of felt like, what, every D&D world needs like at least one haunted city.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
With full of monsters.
Some legacy of catastrophe.
Comrade wants to know.
Well, there's also. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, Comrade wants to know about Star Wars D&D campaign. Honestly, if I was gonna do that, it'd probably be like, why don't we just play the Star Wars game?
Yeah, we You know the Star Wars game that's basically like 3.5, but it's Star Wars flavored. Like my friends and I played that for ages. It was really fun. I didn't expect that I was going to have as much fun as I did because I'm not really a huge fan of Star Wars. I'd say wearing a Star Wars shirt, it's my fiance's. But I know where Felucia is now. Like I can name more planets in the Star Wars universe than I can in the Star Trek universe. I don't know how this happened.
It's very daunting when you play with like hardcore Star Wars nerds.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you either catch on or you die.
I really like the Edge of the Empire system. I've played a long round campaign and there's a couple short campaigns with that system. I like it quite a bit.
I like everything about it but Jedi. I'm anti-Jedi. I don't know why. They're so lame. Jedi
funny.
are lame.
I don't know. It's sci-fan though. It's like it's science fantasy, so they fit. Man, Jedi cause like everything. You can't take the Jedi out of Star Wars.
So on the D&D front,
Yeah.
I wanted to say, speaking of epilogue, not that this has to be defined at all, but I do like that there's this like slower burn potential risk that had come up here, but we weren't addressing, about how, you know, there's more and more of these portals opening and that like the Ulfganya borders essentially are of the plane are weakening. So between that and like the Titan which was apparently transplanar that destroyed Rylar, like there may be big long-term problems for other adventurers to deal with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will say the campaign setting, so the world is Ulfganya. You know, Gryphongaffe is the city region we run things out of basically. But the campaign setting we named Chimes of Discordia. And throughout the various campaigns we've been running, when certain things happen, the players, their characters will hear chimes sounding, but no one has explored what that means yet.
The world is a giant game show.
Yeah, that's it. The best. I think in one of the games we had explored, the mayor of Gryphongaffe had started a holiday, and he coincided with the building of the wall, the completion of the wall, and the alliance with the dragon realms. And it's like I think we call it like the Festival of Friendship or something. But literally, it's like, what is that? What's the word I'm looking for? Commemorating the building of the wall.
We were very friendly in the way that we shut people out.
Yes.
Oh, so you know how in your world's version of Christmas, like the tradition is to make a likeness of the person that you're gifting to?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I also have a headcanon that Kenna's version of that for you guys was like the ballads that she wrote about you.
Oh.
So that we all eventually end up with our own soundtrack.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, every Christmas there's another song.
It's mixtapes all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
I love it.
So hopefully when we pick things up, I want to try and do things better on the technology front. And so that's going to require some figuring out. One of the struggles I'm having now is my computer's a toaster, I think. It's like I was running a little bit late before the session because I was shutting down programs, turning them off. So I was like, all right, let's not have this thing
like trying to get as much operating memory as possible.
Yes, basically.
Oh man.
You know how it is. The computer's 2 years old, so it's junk now. At least that's the way it seems. So, unless anyone else has any questions or anything you guys want to bring up before we head on out?
I would just like to say thank you, not only to all of you for playing this and to Dave for running this, but also to everyone who's watching and coming back week after week and leaving such nice comments in the chat and over on YouTube. And it really means a lot to me, and it has inspired me. and I
You guys are the
appreciate it.
best.
Agreed.
We've been really fortunate in having very few a-holes throughout the 66 sessions that we've done. Like the percentage is super low. So Doug asked, what kind of a game would the players like to do next? And Fox Altman also, one small question, but you didn't ask the question. Well, so let's just go around, starting with Megan. What kind of game would you like to play next?
I'm perfectly okay with 5th edition. Like, I'm totally at home here, but somebody in the comments when you were polling for what we should do next mentioned Shadowrun, and I would physically move there and live there if I could. Like, right now, I'm just saying.
Is Shadowrun the system that the Neoscum podcast is? Is that system?
I didn't actually
I
know.
don't know.
It's bucket of D6s, and I'm not actually a huge fan of the system, but I love the world.
Okay.
We could always, you could always bash it with another generic system.
There's also a couple of like far future fantasy ports of D&D 5e that I hear are pretty amusing.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, there's Esper Genesis and Hyperlanes.
Yeah, there's like Forgotten Realms 2000, something like that.
Oh wow.
I'm biased. I'm just nuts about Dungeons and Dragons. I know there's lots of different games out there, but I'm still in love ever since 5th edition came out. I mean, ever since I started playing as a little tiny child, actually, but 5th edition is definitely my favorite.
Well, I mean, you're definitely not alone. There's tons of people that only ever play D&D and not really look at other games.
Like, I know that means I'm not getting some of these other story game experiences, but it still works. At least the way I play it and the way I run it, it's like scratching all the itches that I want it to. So it works.
Oh yeah, like I will never get tired of medieval fantasy. Like, don't get me wrong.
If you want to run something else, I'm good with adapting to whatever that is. But that's me.
Well, I'm sure we can find something that we're all interested in playing.
Oh, I'm interested in 5e.
So, Jen, how would you feel about playing one of the other ones that are built on the 5e engine? Harbinger is another one by Absolute Tabletop, and then Rich Lescaflair put out Esper Genesis.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't tried any of them, but I'd certainly it would certainly be interesting. I'll play whatever you're running, basically.
I do miss the White Wolf games. I haven't played one of those in a long time.
Oh, God.
And it was insane how much of my life was divided to those games for about 3 or 4 years. But I had like a couple of
Eugene obsessing.
Right.
I know. Who would have guessed, right?
You're so laid back about gaming and don't take it real seriously or get super hyper deeply invested. I don't know what that's.
I don't threaten to put people's heads on pike about relative non-issues on any other topic. But no, I have a couple character concepts for the next game, and those will fit. I'm pretty sure I could fit it into any universe, so I'm good with whatever.
Interesting.
Nice. Well, with that, you know what? I'll let everyone go, and I want to thank everyone for watching and you ladies for playing. It's been a blast. You guys made running this game so easy. There were so many times I felt like I didn't even really need to be here. The game would run itself without me just fine. So I really appreciate that, and it was great to be able to tell a story with you guys, and I had a lot of fun with it. And this is the first game where I've retired the characters because we've gone through all the levels. So that's been really cool and special for me. So with that, until next time, everyone, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy. Thank you.